Today, we're going to take apart and reassemble a Coleman camp stove. Start by removing the propane and propane adapter from the stove. Let's take a look at the tools you'll need. A Phillips head screwdriver, a 12mm wrench or socket, a 13mm wrench or socket, and finally, snap ring pliers. We'll start by opening the lid and removing the cooking grate. Next, locate the two burner assemblies. Unscrew each one and set aside. Under each burner, you'll see a snap ring holding the drip pan in place. Grab your snap ring pliers to remove the ring on each burner. A little downward pressure on the drip pan will help the snap rings to pop loose from the assembly. Remove the drip pan and expose the gas plumbing underneath. Next, we need to remove the plastic knobs on the front of the stove. Use a Phillips head screwdriver to remove the screws holding them in place. Take the plastic knobs off and use a 12mm socket or wrench to loosen the brass fittings on each knob. Next, flip the stove over and remove the two 13mm nuts and their lock washers. Flip the stove right side up and you're now ready to remove the gas assembly. This completes disassembly of the camp stove. Now, let's put it back together. Insert the gas assembly with the valves going through the faceplate holes and the burner feet sitting in the proper footholes. Secure the gas control valves in place with the brass nuts. The thread should be facing towards the inside of the stove. Use a 12mm socket or wrench to apply a little pressure. Be careful not to over tighten, brass is soft. Make sure your plastic knobs are pointing in the vertical position and slide onto the brass stem. Replace the Phillips screws and tighten down. Again, don't over tighten. Check to make sure everything feels right and we're on to the next step. Lift up the front of the stove. Replace the lock washer and hand tighten the nuts for the burner assembly. Flip the stove upside down and tighten the nuts with a 13mm socket. Next, flip the stove right side up and grab the drip pan. The hole on the outer rim should go towards the back of the stove. Slide the center holes of the drip pan over the burner assembly and make sure everything sits nice. Grab the snap rings and the snap ring pliers and secure the drip pan in place. Again, a little downward pressure on the drip pan helps to seat the snap rings. Rethread both burners back in place. Replace the cooking grill. You're all set. You've now disassembled and reassembled a Coleman camp stove.